Hi, my name's Catherine. I'm a psychology student at the University of New England, and today I wanted to talk to you about school refusal and give you a couple of tips on how you might be able to help your child get back to school. So what is school refusal? Well, school refusal is a real anxiety about attending school. It's not truancy or skipping or wagging, where a child chooses not to go to school without their parents' knowledge. School refusal is an anxiety that is so great that the child cannot rather than will not attend school. So signs of school refusal include a real distress or anxiety each morning before school. They may be tearful, angry, or aggressive when talking about school or trying to get ready for school. Your child may complain of illness such as a sore tummy, or if they do go to school, they may visit the school sick bay quite regularly. Your child may refuse to get out of bed, they may refuse to leave the house, or if you do get them in the car to school, they may refuse to get out of the car at the school grounds. So clearly this isn't a one-off scenario. We all have situations or bad days where we don't want to go to school or work. School refusal is a consistent expression of distress or anxiety about attending, which means that the child doesn't attend more often than not. For a child experiencing school refusal, the experience is so overwhelming that it is quite traumatic. So how can you help your child get back to school? Well, today I've got 6 ideas that you might be able to use in that process. Keep in mind though, every child is different and their experience of school refusal will be different too. So you may be able to use some of these and not others, or you may be able to mould them to your situation. So the first step is to talk to your child. Now this might sound easy, but there are a couple of key pieces of information that will really help in the process. The reasons for school refusal are quite varied. So the first piece of information you need is exactly what's happening for your child. What's concerning them about the school environment or the school experience that's meaning they're unable to go to school. Now, this could be anything from their interaction with peers to their interactions with teachers. It could be something about the academic workload or even just the noise and movement of the school environment. So talking to them first about what it is that they really dislike about school will set the groundwork. They're also, on the flip side, is asking them about what it is that they like about school. This can be anything from the most minor thing, but it's important to find something that they do like. This could be just going to the canteen, it could be a favourite subject or a teacher, it could be interacting with friends. Something about school that they do enjoy is important to find. And then the last thing is to really involve them in the process by asking them, what is it that we can do to help you get back to school? What might motivate you to go? If we got rid of these barriers, would you go? Could you go? Asking them and involving them in the process is really important. Following on from talking to your child, the next step is to really seek out some help. Getting in contact with your child's school and talking to them about who might be able to help and then making an appointment with them is the first step. Now, this might be your child's year advisor, it could be the school counsellor or deputy principal. The school will let you know who it is that it's best to speak to in relation to this. If your child has a favourite teacher or another adult in the school, might be in the school office or in the library, talk to them too. The more support people your child has in place, the better. Outside of the school, you may also like to engage a psychologist who has some experience with school refusal, or even look at online support groups for information and ideas. Having spoken to your child and the school, hopefully you've now been able to pinpoint some of the specific issues your child is experiencing in relation to school. The next step is to really start to address those, particularly with skill building. And you might work on deep breathing exercises to help them cope with the environment or the interaction with others. It might be building their confidence or role playing to practice some of the interactions that they might have in the school grounds. Whatever it is, try and make it very specific and skill related so that your child builds up their confidence. It's also a great time to draw on that school counsellor or an external psychologist to help you with those skills. You can work with your child's school to develop what's called an amended attendance plan. This sort of plan works on the idea of graded exposure, where you start with a small interaction and gradually build up over time as your child increases in confidence. So for a child who doesn't attend school at all, this might be visiting the school with a parent and entering an empty classroom and sitting in the classroom for 15-20 minutes. For a child who does attend intermittently, it might be attending on a timetable their favourite classes or with their favourite teacher. It also may be attending certain classes and spending other time in the library or a safe space. Whatever that is, it starts off gradually, and as confidence builds, interaction builds. There are also a range of support tools that you can introduce to help your child through this process. Identifying safe people and safe places ensures that your child has someone to talk to and somewhere to go should they be feeling distressed at school. A safe person could be their favourite teacher, the school counsellor, could even be someone in the school office. Essentially, it's anyone that your child feels comfortable with and who has the time available to speak to your child should they need the time. A safe place could be anywhere that's supervised, such as the school library, a quiet room, or even the school's executive office. Again, it needs to be somewhere that's supervised for your child, that's easily accessible, and is relatively quiet. In tandem with this, talk to your child's school about the possibility of a timeout card. Typically, timeout cards have the child's name on it and instructions for the child to look at should they start to be feeling distressed. Your child can show their teacher their timeout card, let them know that they're feeling distressed, and then they can move to a quiet place or one of their safe places or safe people. The last tip is to celebrate the wins, or what's known as reinforcement. No matter how small, recognising the effort that your child is making in trying to get back to school is a really important part of the process. How that recognition or reward looks is entirely up to you and your child, but just make sure that it's something that's really motivating and valuable to your child. This might be extra technology time, or it might be a special outing with you on the weekend. Whatever it is, it needs to be enough that they are really looking forward to it and trying to get to school in order to get that reward. On the flip side, it's important to note that punishment is really not seen to work as part of a school refusal program. The one thing that you can do, though, is to make the staying at home option something that's quite bland or boring. It's not a punishment as such, but it's just not as interesting as it might be if they'd attended school. School refusal is a really challenging issue to deal with, and I hope my video today has given you a couple of ideas on what you can do to help your child get back to school. So just remember that those 6 things were to talk to your child and to keep talking to them, to get some outside help, to address the problem through skill building, to plan for attendance, to set up some support tools, and finally to celebrate the wins, no matter how small. Thanks for listening.